All right, so check this out. We're diving into something pretty wild today. We're talking about turning a single jazz guitar solo, like just a riff, into a full 80s style track. I mean, I'm already picturing the neon lights.
Yeah, it's definitely got that vibe.
And from the notes you sent, I see Sibelius Logic Pro X, even something called chord modules. Okay, you got to tell me more about these chord modules. Sounds kind of sci-fi, like music from the future.
Well, it might be. Think of them like, well, you know how you build something amazing out of Legos, right?
Please don't tell me you've got a Lego guitar solo built somewhere. See what you could do.
Not quite. But these chord modules, they're like those Lego bricks, but for music. They could change how we think about putting a song together from the ground up.
I am so ready for this. But before we get too far ahead, let's rewind back to the beginning. So you started with a jazz guitar solo, cool starting point, and then took it into Sibelius, which for any guitarist listening means you went straight into notation, tabby, and all that, yeah.
Exactly. Gotta love a good tab. And using Sibelius like that, it's brilliant. It's like drawing up the blueprints before you even pick up a hammer. The musical idea is right there, ready to be shaped.
Which is exactly what happened, because the sound transformation here is seriously something else. Acoustic guitar fades out, and bam, synths hit you right between the ears.
I'm seeing you mention leads and pads in the notes. Gotta ask audio glossary time, what are we listening for?
Great question. Okay, so leads, think of those as the vocal lines of the music. The melody, the catchy bits you hum along to. Pads, on the other hand, they're like the sonic background, the atmosphere. They add this whole other dimension to the sound. In this case, they create that signature 80s vibe.
And that choice, that 80s jazz fusion sound, that was intentional, right? It wasn't just like, let's randomly mess with synths today.
Definitely intentional. It's like a painter choosing their color palette. Those sounds set the mood, the whole feel for the piece. And for what I was going for, 80s was it. Okay, so we've got the evolving soundscape going from a simple guitar solo to like a full-blown 80s synth party. But then you take this really interesting turn with the, and I'm gonna say it again because it's just so cool, the chord modules. So walk me through this. What are they in the simplest terms?
Okay, so imagine taking that original guitar solo, right? And then instead of just rearranging parts of it, you break it down even further. You find its harmonic DNA, the chord progressions that make it tick. Those become your modules.
I'm with you so far.
So now, instead of just shifting around the solo, you're rearranging these fundamental building blocks, these chord modules. It's like, okay, take that Lego spaceship apart. Now use the same bricks to build a skyscraper. Still Lego, but a totally different structure, right?
Oh my God, that's such a good analogy. It's still got the essence of the original,
Yeah.
but it becomes something totally new.
Exactly. It's both familiar and surprising at the same time. It's a cool space to play in.
Man, this whole thing has just got my mind racing. And I think there's a lesson here for anyone listening, whether you're into music, writing, design, whatever. What's your chord module? What's that one element in your work or even a hobby that you could break down, analyze, and then rebuild into something totally unexpected? What can you deconstruct and reinvent? That's something to think about. This deep dive has definitely given me a whole new perspective on creativity.